am so in love with the power of our mind. I'm obsessed with how powerful our mind is, how powerful our imagination is, how powerful our thoughts are. And I was reading this book again, Power of Positive Thinking. Probably you're familiar with it. If you are not, don't worry. And one of the things that stood out to me throughout all the book, at least to me, this is the key point of the book. It says here, William James said, listen, but listen good. The greatest discovery of my generation is that human beings can alter their life by altering their attitudes of mind. You can change your life by changing your mind. It is not a joke. You can change your life by changing the images, the information, the pictures in your mind, because power is the mind. Before you doing something, you think about it. Before you going somewhere, you think about it. Before you saying something, you think about it. Before you doing anything, feeling anything, overcoming anything, experiencing anything, even before you try anything, you are going to think about it first. Why? Because the first place where our life is being built, where our life is being made, where our life is being produced in our mind. Your experiences are secondary, but where your life is being made, where your life is being produced is in your mind. What's going on within you internally, because power is the mind. And thoughts do become things. Thoughts do become things. For example, somebody once had the idea, the thought of writing this book. And the person did. Right? Somebody has the thought of this. The person created it. Somebody has the thought of these shoes. The person created it. Somebody has the thought of this sweater. The person created it. Somebody has this thought of these earrings. The person created it. Somebody had the thought of this underwear. The person created it. Thoughts become things. And since you know that thoughts become things, have thoughts on the things that you want. Have thoughts on the things you want to experience, the things you want to receive, the things you want to feel. Because your consistent thoughts becomes things, becomes experience, even become people. If you are wondering, why do you keep dating the same people? It's because you still have the same picture in your mind towards that same type of person. Power is the mind. If you want to change your life, start by changing your thinking. A successful life starts with a successful way of thinking. A rich life starts with a rich way of thinking. A healthy life starts with a healthy way of thinking. A happy life starts with a happy way of thinking. Ralph Waldo Emerson once says, a man is what he thinks about all day long. Thoughts become things, but not just any random thoughts. Not the thoughts you can have one time a day, or one time in a week, or when you are bored, or when you are drunk, or when you are tired, or when you don't know what to do with your life. No. The thoughts you have consistently. What you think about all day long, all night long, all week long, all year long, become things. A famous psychologist says, there is a deep tendency in human nature to become precisely like that which habitually imagine yourself to be. There is a deep tendency in human nature to become precisely like that which you habitually imagine yourself to be. Imagination, another key point, imagination. Because if your imagination can go there, you can be there. What is imagination? Imagination is simply image in action. Because the image you have consistently in your life, in your mind, become a reality. So what are the images you have about your body? About the amount of money you make? About the person you can date? About your finances? About your family? About your dreams? About your goals? What are the images you have of yourself? Because the image you have of yourself that's exactly what you are going to become. So imagine yourself winning. Imagine yourself rich. Imagine yourself prosperous. Imagine yourself healthy. Imagine yourself happy. Imagine yourself confident. Why? Because whatever you imagine consistently, you become. You can imagine anything you want. You can see yourself doing anything in your imagination. So see yourself doing good, feeling good, thinking good, and acting good. Right? Or will you prefer to see yourself sick, poor, miserable? Why will you see yourself so low and so negative when you can see yourself so high and so positive? See yourself prosperous. See yourself rich. See yourself confident. See yourself successful. You can see it in your mind. And if you can see it in your mind, you can experience it in your life. Power is the mind. Think another way, and you can create an entire different set of conditions. Conditions are created by thoughts far more powerfully than thoughts create conditions. Conditions are created by thoughts. As I said earlier, thoughts become things. Ideas become things. Even the words we use become things. It all end up becoming a material, an item, an experience, something you can see with your physical eyes and something you can see with your mental eyes. Think another way and you are going to find another path. If you keep thinking the way you have been thinking for the previous 10 years, 20 years, 40 years, 5 years, you are going to receive the same result. If you want a different life, it all starts with a different way of thinking, a different way of acting, a different way of feeling, but it all starts with the way you think. Think another way. Stop thinking poverty. Start thinking prosperity. Stop thinking lack. Start thinking abundance. Stop thinking negative. Start thinking positive. Stop thinking sick. Start thinking healthy. Stop thinking failure. Start thinking success. To change your circumstances, first start thinking differently. Do not passively accept unsatisfactory circumstances, but form a picture in your mind of circumstances as they should be. Exactly. That also speaks about rejecting. Reject the ideas you don't want. Reject it. Cancel it. Do not accept that you are poor. Don't accept it. No, don't. Do not accept that you are sick. Don't. Do not accept that you were meant to come here and suffer and struggle. No. Cancel, reject that idea and accept the idea that you came here to enjoy, to be prosperous, to be rich, to be abundant, to be wealthy, and to circulate the good. Circulate the money, circulate the happiness, circulate the prosperity, circulate the success. Do not accept anything that you don't want to be true about you. No matter what they can say. No, it doesn't even matter what your bank account says. Do not accept it. For example, me right now, I'm making this video. Do you know how much money I have in my bank account? Less than $20. But I'm telling myself that I am rich. And yes, I am. Because I reject what my bank account is telling me. And I put the picture of me being rich, me being prosperous in my mind. And nobody can tell me otherwise. I know I am rich. I believe I am rich. I imagine myself as a rich person. If you want to change your life, change the way you think. Whatever you think about the most, you become. Whatever you think about the most, you experience. Whatever you think about the most, you attract. Whatever you think about the most, you manifest. Whatever you think about the most, you amplify. Whatever you think about the most, you become. So think positive. Think rich. If you change the way you think, you are going to change your life. But if you keep the same way of thinking, you are choosing to keep the same way of living. The choice is yours.